right, so we are back at the Weight Concept presented by The Ring Magazine. I am just finishing up Most Valuable Prospects, number 13 in Orlando, Florida. And I wanted to wait until this card was over, until I fulfilled my duties as a play-by-play commentator, before I commented on the absolute bizarre and just self-sabotaging nature of one Keyshawn Davis. I'm sure by now you guys have seen that Keyshawn Davis has completely flipped his reputation in about a 36-hour period. If you didn't know, coming into this weekend, Keyshawn Davis was a world champion at 135 pounds. He had won his first belt months ago, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I haven't watched every single Keyshawn Davis interview. I haven't seen how he's been moving in this scene, but from what I've seen now, looking back in retrospect, it seemed like Keyshawn Davis was buying into the superstar mentality a little too much, coming into a hometown fight in his backyard of Norfolk, Virginia. He was going to defend his WBO belt against Edwin De Los Santos, and unfortunately that fight was canceled after Keyshawn Davis not only missed weight, because sometimes a miss is excusable, but he flat out didn't even try to make the weight. He missed by 4.3 pounds, and if you ask me, Wade, why are you so sure he didn't try to make weight? Well, for one, he stood on the scale and flexed and smiled while his picture was taken after missing weight by a completely unprofessional amount, while making the weight for a world title fight only months ago. So that already is a red flag if you're looking at Keyshawn Davis and how he handles being a superstar, how he handles being a top name in the sport of boxing. Because let's be honest, he just now got to the top level of this sport. He just now became a world champion, starting to become potentially a household name. He even had the back and forth with Abdullah Mason on press conference day, talking about how he wanted to fight Abdullah at some point coming up. And funny enough, Abdullah Mason saved his event in Keyshawn Davis's backyard, operated like a true professional, and went out on fight night and won his fight in a 4th round stoppage, something that Keyshawn couldn't do because he couldn't even qualify to fight, not only for his belt, but at all. The fight was canceled, and that's bad enough as it is, because that's your hometown show, and let's be honest here, it's ESPN's last top-ranked show. So not only did you ruin the earnings of this event by showing the people of your hometown that they weren't important enough for you to take this seriously enough to make weight, but also you tried to game the system. And I said the same thing about Ryan Garcia, how they didn't really care about the belts, and okay, that's fine, but you're a world champion and you've signed to make a designated weight. So I don't care if your body can't handle the cut to 135, move up in weight. Don't take away from the fans. Don't take away from Edwin De Los Santos, who did make the weight, who showed up like a professional, and certainly don't take away from everybody in your camp that worked hard to put you in the right positions. I'm sure Bomac wasn't too happy about that as well. And also, tonight, as the card was going on, here's a video of Keyshawn Davis shoving popcorn down his gullet. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. If you're a fan, be a fan, but that's supposed to be the main event of this card. A little disrespectful, I think, to the people that showed up to watch him fight, and also, again, the people that put in time and effort for him to treat this so blasé. Like it didn't matter at all. Like he was above the belt. Like he was above making weight. Like he was above main eventing in his backyard. And again, the missing weight was just a fraction of the complete misjudgment and idiotic stance that comes from Keyshawn Davis. Because tonight, as the card is going on, Keyshawn Davis and his brother Keon Davis, who is also a professional boxer, go backstage for whatever reason and jump Nahir Albright, who is on this card and just won his fight pretty easily and convincingly, and yet is now in the back of the locker room trying to defend himself from these two guys that are not on the card, that are not scheduled to even take place and be a part of this event. But again, for whatever reason, I don't know what was said, but really, there's no excuse for especially Keyshawn and really Keon Davis as well to be acting this way and throwing it all away. Here's the video.
Best of you. You see when you don't control your anger, you see what happens? This type of stuff right here. The stock just plummeted to the floor. I was a Davis Brothers fan. I was. No, I'm a Abdullah Mason 5 Brothers fans because the way they behave like true professionals.
You know, there is another element, and Timmy did hit on it. You know, you get opportunities. What costs someone else is your potential gain.
So yeah, you see it there. We may not even be able to use that video. If we can, great. If not, I'll lay out the scene for you. Keyshawn Davis in front of his family in the backstage of the arena in his home city in Norfolk. and with his brother decided to jump a fighter that had already gone through a fight. Again, reasons unknown, quite frankly, I don't care. Decided to insert themselves into a situation they didn't need to be a part of that makes them look terrible, and to do it in front of a national TV camera, in front of their families. Folks, before we get into the breakdown, I want to say a big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings. That is right, DraftKings is the place to be for all of your sports betting needs. Whether it's UFC 316, Sean O'Malley versus Merab, who you pick there and why, or you want to bet on something like the NBA Finals, because this is your last chance as an NBA fan to let your expertise show. Will it be the Indiana Pacers or will it be the OKC Thunder? You have a chance to pick the winner or NBA player props, whatever you desire at DraftKings Sportsbook. Might I add, the official betting partner of the NBA. So the question is, Wade, how do I start? Well, simple answer. You use code WADE when you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And for new customers, you can bet $5 using code WADE. And if it wins, you get an additional $300. Once again, code WADE. Bet your first $5. If you win, there's $300 waiting on. And that's in one place and one place only for your NBA, MMA, or any other sports betting needs. At DraftKings, the crown is yours. Keyshawn Davis is speed running how to lose fans in professional boxing in less than 36 hours. And the only reason I'm so frustrated by this is because this is a young man with real talent. And I'm sure he'll have opportunities in the future. I don't think this is the end of his career, but it's certainly going to be a step back. I don't know who is going to look at that and go, yeah, that's the person I want to represent me as a commission. That's the guy that is going to bring fans to the arena. Not now, not after you purposely miss weight, have your fight canceled, and then instead of fighting in the main event, you're backstage jumping a fighter that already won his fight, that put in the work, that made the weight, won his fight. You and your brother are going tag team in the back part of the arena in front of friends and family, because that's what a professional does, right? That's what someone that wants to represent this sport and represent themselves like a professional does. No, it is. It's an absolutely moronic move for Keyshawn Davis, and I don't know that I've seen, outside of being arrested or fighters participating in some sort of illegal activity, I don't know that I've seen someone just run off most of their fan base or their potential fan base in less than 48 hours like Keyshawn Davis has done this weekend. And again, I don't know who's going to trust him in a main event anytime soon, especially at 135 pounds. You best believe he better fight at 140 next fight. Otherwise, I don't know any promoter that's going to take that risk. The WBO has already stripped him of his belt. I don't think he'll be fighting for it again anytime soon. Again, it's just an all-around complete misjudgment, just a lack of awareness to what an ambassador of the sport does, a lack of awareness of how much potential he really had, still has. Again, his career's not over, but how much potential he had to gain new fans on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. And you throw it all away because for as long as Keyshawn Davis has taken this sport seriously, he got gold on his shoulder and decided he was bigger than the sport. That's the way I read this, that he was bigger than the moment, than the sport. And listen, I work with the Ring magazine. Keyshawn Davis works with the Ring magazine, but I'm going to tell it like it is. This was just a flat-out miss. But even me, as someone that represents the Ring magazine as well, I'm not going to turn a blind eye to that stuff, because it's not what champions do. It's not what the sport's about. And it's just a terrible, terrible look for everything that Keyshawn Davis, all the hard work that he's put into this sport, all the years of sacrifice, to throw it away over something so silly as an argument backstage or 4 pounds that you signed to make. It's just unfortunate to see, because the young man is so talented. And yes, I was so excited to see him and Abdullah Mason going back and forth this week, because how fun would that fight be? Boxing needs those young, fresh matchups at the lower weight classes, at the higher weight classes. And again, it's just unfortunate. I don't think this video is going to be a very long one. I just had to say it. Keyshawn Davis, again, speed running how to lose fans, showing the immaturity level, showing just how silly and how in an instant, quite frankly, you can go from being on top of the world to completely sabotaging yourself. Anyway, yeah. This is why boxing sucks sometimes, I'm gonna be honest. But congrats, by the way, to Abdullah Mason and Nahir Albright as well, who performed and put their reputation and their careers on the line to go in there and show the people of Norfolk, Virginia a good show, because Keyshawn he couldn't be bothered to do it. Anyway, that's what I think. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about this entire situation and what happens next for Keyshawn Davis. I think he needs to get his head on straight, because right now I don't have those answers, but I guess we'll find out.